For every morning we wake up, we need to feel, first of all, thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we've got one more day to do some absolute positive attributes. That's what we have to do, right? You are trading your sleep, and then after that, in the morning, you wake up, we have to be grateful and thankful for Allah. Why we are here for one more day? The reason is that we have got one more day to do a lot of good. That's what we have to do. So one message has come to me already, a dua actually, which is very good. Dua for today. May Allah give us the strength to smile when we feel sad, to stay calm when we feel stressed, and to have faith when we feel lost. That's a great idea. Every day to have a dua to come over to us, and we can read it out, we can recite the dua for you, and that's wonderful. So keep them coming. That was a very good initiative. It's a good start, and we should carry that on. My producer, if he agrees, yes, it's a good idea. Every morning, if you're listening out there, if you send us a dua, then we shall transmit that for you, recite that for you, and that'll be my pleasure. So we have Shiz Iqbai joined us just now. Shiz, are you at work? Are you at home? Are you chilling? Where are you? Tell us where you are. It's very important for us to know in the studio, right? We don't have auto location here, so we like to know. We don't have the technology that advanced just yet, but it is getting better and better each year, right? We just sit here on the chair. It's called the hot chair, the presenter's chair, and here we have to be communicating with each other with a screen to the left, a screen soon to come in front of us, and we talk to each other on the screens. And of course, we talk to you via Facebook, we talk to you by telephone, we talk to you by email, we talk to you by WhatsApp. So in the car listening to you, mashallah, which area are you listening from? Because we like to know how far we are reaching out on this transmission. We like to know, are you going to work? If you are, I'm going to make you happy. I'm going to cheer you up and give you that positive factor. So Shiz, did you call your mother this morning to tell her you love her? That's what you have to do. Every day during the month of Ramadan, we have to make a difference. And first of all, we start with the mother, because the mother is who that makes the home. Blessings for the mother all the time. So Shiz, you on my way home from the school run, yeah, exactly, I guessed it right. So school run, 9 a.m. school run. So you're obviously late this morning. You didn't get there on time. You're going to get told off by the teacher. And when your children, they come home today, they're going to tell you off to say, so why did you drop me off late? So we have to be very mindful when we're doing the school run. It can be very, very pressurized because you're late and you're trying to rush, trying to get there quick. And each day you're doing the same route, and you can sort of lose your patience. So during Ramadan, we need to have everybody understand that Ramadan is a month. We call it here in the studio mirror reflection therapy. We look in the mirror and we do a lot of reflections. That's what we do, right? And that's what we have to do. So if you've heard of that before, mirror reflection therapy, we call that the MRT. MRT, right? That means mirror reflection therapy. That's what we have to do. So if you haven't done that before, I'm going to show you how it's done now. Right this minute, I'm going to show you. You look in the mirror and you look deep into the mirror and you see things. Normally you see something on your face and you quickly dab something on, or you put your aftershave on or whatever. No, I'm not asking you to do that. I want you to focus, concentrate, and say, right, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to change, and this is how I'm going to get better. So if you get up in the morning, first thing you do, you say thanks to Allah for giving you one more day, and then you set your goals for today. Have you, anyone out there listening, set your goals for today? Have you set a goal for today, tomorrow, or next week? Well, let's focus on just today, right? That's what you have to do. And you have to start your day in a positive manner. That's what you have to do. Start it in a positive manner. If you think positive, then the results will be positive. How you start your day will determine how you end your day. So the best way to start your day is you wake up and you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving you one more day to go out there to make a difference. What did I say yesterday? That this month we are going to do make a difference. We are going to make a difference to someone out there. We started with, can we make a difference to 10 people? Can we do that? Right, my producer, have you done anything yesterday to make a difference to anybody? Yeah? Now, people, they get a little bit worried. Say, oh, what do I have to do? Who carries? Kate na carries. You know, I'm reciting different languages here today because just where I'm sat here at 207 Evington Road, I'm surrounded by 20 languages. 20 languages, right? Now, it's a little bit hot here in the studio at the moment. And, you know, when you are talking and you are talking on as a presenter, you've got to be in a temperature-controlled atmosphere, so I have to tell my producer to turn the temperature down because your mouth dries up and then you're fasting and it's difficult, you know. So, and that instruction you give your presenter with a hand signal. So the hand signal for temperature down is this, what I've just done, you see. You go up like that with your hand and you bring it down. That means the producer knows the heat. He has to address the heat, you know. So we have another listener out there listening from Tonbridge, South London via TuneIn radio app. There you have technology there now. I want you, Abdul, to tell us if you are listening to us loud and clear. Salim Mogra, now you know the Mogra family is growing in Leicester. We have over 924 of them in Leicester when I last did a little count on them. And they are all an extended family. Right? So you're probably disputing that, but you have to be a Mogra to understand how many there is because it's quite a big family in Leicester. And I say that with a little bit of qualifications because I know most of them. I know them. So I've known them for a long time and this is how many there is. So Salim Mogra, Jazakallah khair for contacting us. I see your picture there. Very well, so I need you to connect us with all your database of Mogras in Leicester so they can all tune in. I'm giving a big shout out to all the Mogras in Leicester, right? And that's what I'd like to do. If you can do that for us, that would be great, Salim. I appreciate that. So the listener in Tunbridge Wells listening in South London. So we're in Leicester and people in South London are listening to us. So there you go, guys. This is how powerful the medium of Radio Ramadan is. Ramadan special this year is called special. Why it's called special? Because all of you listening out there are special. So you can listen to us, as I've just found out now, on TuneIn radio app. Now, how do you tune in on the radio app? This is what we need to teach each other. So my producer, he'll flash up on his screen and he will tell you all how to tune in and what we have to do. So you see a picture here on the Facebook, you can see of me sat there and you can see our surroundings. You can see the beautiful scenic view I have from the window here. It's not a seaside view as I would like to prefer, or not even any green trees, right? As you'll see out the window here, we see some brick and more windows. And that's what we need to put a screen up there. At least my producer has to work on that. If you can convert that to green, I would appreciate that. Or even a scenic, something scenic, you know. So when you look at it, you know, your mood flows and you're feeling good. So if you did wake up this morning positive or negative, if you woke up negative, then you need to immediately convert that to positive. Now, of course, the best time of the day is the early hours of the day. We call that here in the studio the Fajr hour. This is the best part of the morning, right? Fajr time, you wake up, you do your salah, and then after that, you're good to do all the positive things. Because as soon as you've done your salah, you're already in a positive frame of mind. And if you are going to go back to sleep, then you're going to have a problem. You'll wake up negative. You will have converted a positive into a negative. So we need to keep it positive. That's what we have to do. Early hours of the day, the Fajr hours, will set the foundation for the rest of your day. Are we in agreement of that? Give me a call and let me know. Tell me what you do. Do you go back to sleep and or do you wake up? Now, the first 2 or 3 days of Ramadan, they're very difficult because the body is adjusting. You know, if you're diabetic, your sugar levels are going up, down. It does not matter on the first 2 days what you eat, your sugar levels are spiking, you know, and then a couple of days later, your body is back into shape again. So if you want to catch Ramadan.fm, it's on https:/tunein.com/ is, yeah, that's what you have to do. So have a go, try that, and you'll be able to listen, and that you can listen on your smartphone. Yeah, now don't try to do that on an old analog phone, because it won't work, you know. It can only work on your Android or your iPhones. If you've got them, if you can try that on any smartphone that you can purchase or you already own, then you can do that, right? So I think she's has reached home again, back again. Definitely, I think so, in Belgrade somewhere. So do let us know. We are concerned for your safety, aren't we? Like we are for everybody else's. And of course, all of you, don't forget my dear brother and friend Abdul Hamid. He's on a very, very, very slow recovery. So let's make dua for him, and let's send him a little podcast, please, from the studio, to let him know that we are all rooting for him and making duas for him, you know. And Abdul Hamid, if you're listening to me, your brother Zed here is praying for you and asking everybody to pray for you. And we need you to recover. We need you back here in Leicester. We are all missing you so much. That's what we need. That's what I would like to do. So if you can do that, please do let me know, right? I'd like very much to have a real chat with you. We want to bring him back to a stage where we can talk to him. You know, wonderful if we could talk to him on the phone. Could we do that when he gets better? So let's see how the week goes. If he gets better, you know, if my producer can make a call and find out what is the latest situation health-wise with Abdul Hamid. Last we spoke to his mother, and she said that he could come in and out of consciousness all day. He gets very, very tired. Even he speaks a few words, and within 5 minutes, he is off to sleep again, because he's struggling to continue longer, and he's in and out of sleep all day. But mashallah, he's responding, alhamdulillah, to touch. So that's a good sign. And he had a horrific brain injury, and they've done 3 operations on him already. So let's pray for him, make du'as for him, and we want him to get better, inshallah. It's been quite a blow just 2 weeks before Ramadan to have lost our dear friend Abdul Hamid. And in the studio, everybody's missing him, because he has been a mainstay here for many years with us on Radio Ramadan. So give a big shout out to Abdul Hamid, all of you out there. We need to do this together, and let's pray for him, make du'as for him. So every day, almost on every program, we give him a mention. My producer is nodding. He says, yes, we do. We give him a mention all of the time, right? So Abdul Hamid, may Allah bring you back to good health all of the time. Somebody sent me a text message here saying that was a very good list for the duties of a mother that you talked about yesterday. And do remind everybody what an asset is a mother. Of course, we do that all of the time without us even having to blink. We know that nothing a mother will not give up for her children, for even her life in many cases, you know. Many cases the mother will do that. In many, I think 99% of the cases, a mother will do that for you. So we're all grateful for the mothers of this dunya. All that you are or hope to be, it's all down to your mother. Now, many of the fathers will dispute that, but you know, they say heaven lies under the feet of the mother. Yes, you've all read that hadith. Well, that's what it means, you know, that the mother will always have a sacrificial, undeniable, unconditional love for you. Now, put your hand up if you agree with me right this minute. If you are, wherever you are, just blink. If you can't put your hand up because you're driving, then just nod your head, and I will be able to tell if you are putting your hand up or if you are nodding. I'll be able to tell. So my producer is laughing because he thinks he has developed the technology. to be able to tell. How do you do that? Can you do that? No? You're still working on it. He's probably looking for some software on the computer somewhere to see if anything such exists. Now, we had a lot of messages when we asked, what would you like us to transmit? We have 30 days and we do 12 months of work on Radio Ramadan. And many, many messages were coming back to us. Well, how do they come to us? They come to us individually on our phones, people that we know in the community. They want to tell us that, look, we are absolutely concerned about the new education rulings on RE. Of course, when I was at school in 1924, RE was called religious education. But now they've made it different now. They've added a few more letters to just RE and so on. So you all got to be aware of that and understand what it's all about. So if you have children at school, there's a lot of changes, compulsory changes happening. So for this topic, I think it concerns everybody in the community, because if the education of your children is not in agreement with you as a parent, then there will be problems. So we need to take this into account and see what we can do about it. So let's all work together, and we will now create a program for the people who are concerned and also for the politicians who are making these rules compulsory, and we get them here in the studio, we sit together and we talk to you, the public, about all the new rulings. Now, how are they affecting the parents? So you do start calling us and talking to us about this very important subject, right? This is an absolute important subject to talk about, and we must air our views. And end of the day, it's we, the parents, the public, all of us are concerned because it affects our future generation. So if you look at us, the ethnic community in this country is now almost at the 4th generation. So just look at yourself and say, well, am I from generation 1, generation 2, generation 3 or 4? And your children will be the 4th generation here in this country almost. So, you see many protests all over the country, up and down the country, outside every school, you see many protests, not only from the Muslim community, but from other communities. If you go on the internet, you'll follow newspapers everywhere. You will see that you will see many titles there, right? Schools aimed to destroy the fabric of education, and wrongful things are said, which we need to talk about and bring them to attention, right? So some people are even going as far as saying that these are all issues which are targeting the Muslim community or the faith communities, but many faiths have come forward and they have also talked about these and been very supportive collectively with all of the faiths. But let's see how we're going to deal with this, because it is very complicated and a very touchy subject, right? And as I say the word touchy, I see our studio team are all nodding. I see them all nodding, and they're all concerned. And they're almost out of school themselves. So they're most affected, I think, like that. Young parents, all of them young parents. So we need to deal with this. Now, we have another message here about one of our seasoned professionals who comes and sits with us, and they want to come and do a booking interview. That's what happens here. Now, when we contact them, they call us back or they send us a text to say, do you want me to come regularly on a daily slot or a weekly slot or a one-off? And it depends on what kind of program it is, and then we make a decision. So if my dear friend here, he's just sent me a message, and in his case, the answer will be, well, let's start off with a one-off slot and see how we get on, what the response is, and then we can move forward from there, right? This is how we deal with it. So the education, that is at the top of the request list, the education. Then second to that was another message has come to say that all the shops in the city center are closing down. Of course, which city center? It's Leicester, of course. That's what they mean. Which shops closed down? Well, this particular caller or texter is talking about the Brusciani store, right? If you know about this particular shop, it's been there for 87 years, run by the family. In fact, third generation. And that's just recently closed down 2 or 3 weeks ago. So people have mentioned that as well, that everybody is aware of that. A lot of shops are closing down. Yes, they are. Brusciani announces shock closure after more than 80 years serving Leicester, right? And prior to that, we had another famous shop which was called the Irish Menswear. And when I was younger, I used to walk by there and I see that shop all of the time. It's been there for years and years, right? Since long time. So a lot of these shops are old shops. And in fact, in the Leicester Mercury, if you read, there was a recent survey carried out that which are the shops that are missed the most in Leicester. So do you have any favorites that have closed down that you miss? Now, tell us about them from the periods 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Of course, many of the old shops, the millennial generation will not know about them, and the Z generation will not know about it. Now, when I say the Z generation, somebody said to me yesterday, oh, are these all that follow you because you are Z? I said, no, I'm ZED. This is just the letter Z. The Z generation is from period 2000 onwards. Now, previous to that, we had the 90s, which were called the millennials. These are that. So are you an M or a Z? You know, that's how you work it out. So anybody who's born in the 90s is an M, and anybody who's born after 2000 is a Z. Now, another popular topic that was brought to attention was, if you can remember yesterday, we said, what did we talk about yesterday? I'll give you all a clue. It says smartphone, addiction to smartphone. This is a very popular topic. Everybody wants to talk about it. And the thing is, a lot of people who are saying that, yes, we must talk about it, are also smartphone addicts. They are talking on the smartphone on average. Average is 3 hours, but there are extreme cases where surveys have been carried out to say that it has stretched to 4 and 5 hours a day. That is incredible. Can you imagine sat on your smartphone for 5 hours a day? That means out of 24 hours, you lost 5 hours of your life when you could be doing something more useful. So this Ramadan, I'm asking all the listeners to have a little bit of a smartphone detox. Can you do that? If you can, that's a very good positive move, a smartphone detox. So do call us and let us know. Shafina Farouk has joined us. Shafina, what is your average on the smartphone? Tell us how long you are spending on the smartphone and let us know. We'd like to know how much time you spend on the smartphone. So somebody sent me a message just now saying that, how much time do I spend on the smartphone? In a day, I spend maybe an hour, right? That's what I spend, 1 hour a day. So right now, there is a lot of messages coming on the text here, and there are too many, too frequently. So it's not easy to navigate them all. And that's what I'm doing right now, navigating them all the messages that are coming in. So if you ring me or you talk to me, you have to dial our number at the studio, which I gave you earlier on. My studio manager is going to flash that number up again, and let me know how long you are spending on your particular smartphone. So this is a very important topic because smartphone addiction is enthralling us all in the community. So we need to bring attention to that. So this topic is also a number 2 topic. So the studio phone line is 0116 212 9324. That is our studio phone line. If you can connect with us, let us know. Or you can even send us an email. If you're at work, info@ramadan.fm. Now, somebody sent a message, how do I connect with you while I'm at work right now? Well, if your boss will allow you, then you can call us on, go on our website, www.ramadan.fm, and connect with us. Somebody's calling me. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. We got a call?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Good morning, my dear brother. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Are you a smartphone user? Because we are very hot on smartphone this morning.
Right. So what's the issue with smartphones? We have to be up with the technology, right?
Yes, we have to be up with the technology. We are today saying let's all have a smartphone detox during the month of Ramadan, and we can then give more time to ibadah, right? So this.
Okay. So if you do that,
yeah.
So how are people going to connect with you then?
Well, what I'm saying is that if they limit the time, they half it.
Correct.
Then that half is okay, because I'll be able to fit in that half. They'll connect with me.
I completely agree with you, Brother Zed.
And so on. So detox is required from the mothers, the fathers, the children.
I think there's a lot of things we need to detox. Only mobile phone's not the only one.
A lot of things. The list is endless. This is just one of them, right? And we were saying that the best time of the day is called the Fajr hour. This is the time after you make your salah that you are at the most positive part of the day. And if you go back to sleep,
what? You could have not said it any better. Yeah. I think, between Sehri, Tahajjud time and Fajr time, I tell you what, it's for my personal experience, for me, I just feel extremely connected at that time. Not that I don't feel connected at the other time, but I think that time is, do you know what it is? It's you, and it just feels like it's just you and Allah together. You're speaking to each other, and you're basically, I can't explain it. I can't express it in words how amazing that feels.
Of course, you are calling from your workplace?
Not yet, no. Alhamdulillah, I'm very, very blessed to have a wonderful manager and a wonderful team to basically let me start work a bit late in Ramadan. So I'm just waiting to go now, to be honest.
Well, we have put a very strong effort this year to promote recruitment, because we need to enhance recruitment within our community, in the NHS, in the local authority, and all areas.
There's a scheme at the moment which I don't know whether I'm allowed to tell you, but I will anyway. It's called apprenticeships, and inshallah, after a certain time, they are looking into permanent posts. So that's a really, really good initiative for people who do actually want to work in the local authority. I think there are one or two schemes. I'm not too sure of the full details, but there are schemes like that. The council are looking at schemes like that, which is I think is quite absolutely brilliant.
Of course, it is very important, isn't it, in our inner city and outer city, Leicestershire, that the more people are in jobs, we can create a better community.
Of course.
From that, and deal with the other issues that we have in the community. So this year we are appealing to the NHS, to the local authority, all of them to engage with us, so we can all work together on this particular issue that concerns us all. And these are many, many issues that go on, my dear brother, that are not season items only. They should be throughout the year. So when we are doing good deeds during Ramadan, we need to develop our iman to do that 365 days and do that throughout the year and continue with that. So we have a scheme here also, What After Radio, right? So last year, many of the programs that we aired here, they carried on the good work in community development after radio. So many of the listeners, if you're out there listening, you may not be aware, but after radio, you think, well, it's all over until next year. No, it's not over. It's just the beginning. So after radio, we carry on.
When you've got someone like you, and I'm not just saying this, and you haven't, no one's paid me to say this, but when you've got someone like you, a person like you may not sound like a big person in the community, but you are such an influential person regardless what anyone says. And I think, it's not about being over. It will never be over till it's over.
So we'll say salam to Ahmed Moravia together. You know Ahmed Moravia?
Yes, Ahmed Moravia, yes, a very, very popular man. Assalamu alaikum to him.
He's watching over us all the time, I feel him around me all the time. Ahmed, I know you're there. You're always there watching over us, mashallah. I hope you're making some good du'as for us, Ahmed, for me and Brother Sajid here. So what it is, when you're in the community development work, it's never ending. You're one of those people that are reading all the WhatsApps in all the groups, and you don't participate in them because you're not the kind of a character that creates 20 WhatsApps out of one message you put out.
As I said to you yesterday, you only create what's going to benefit and what is beneficial, not all these silly groups. That's why never join unless I have to, and never basically engage with any other groups. You stick to what's good, and that basically that's another thing that takes you away from the, your smartphone.
Of course, you are a master and a master admin, managing director, chairman of one particular group, and you are a very strict admin, because I study the way you operate. Is you have immediately struck somebody off or suspended them, and that person could be even 55 years old, and you suspend them like they were little children from school.
They don't like me for that, but as I said, I have a very strict policy when it comes to groups.
That's right. And you're a strict admin, so that's why I'm a little bit scared of you. Because
no, you shouldn't be scared.
You're like our producer in the studio. Everybody.
I would never delete you. Never ever delete you.
So somebody came here yesterday and they said, look, I can see your producer is very strict. I said, yeah, we have to follow his rules. He's very, very strict. So Aludu Abdul Rahman, watching you live from Ghana. May Allah make it easy for you, right? Ghana, they have a soup there called Neri Neri soup. If you ever go to Ghana, that's what you need to try, Neri Neri soup. If that soup was here now, we'd be having it for iftar and for sehri. It's a soup they make from a very special seed. Right? We lost? What happened? Okay, we dropped that line. His phone got cut off. See what happens when you don't pay your bill? Your phone gets cut off. But we were talking about the soup. He'll call back. So we lost that caller. We were just talking about the Neri Neri soup in Ghana. So many countries, when you talk about them, you remember the kind of foods that they have there, right? So in Ghana, the popular foods there are Neri Neri soup, and they have peanut soup, and they also have gari. This is what they like in Ghana. So if you didn't know that, well, you know it now. Go on the internet and check this out. Of course, I do like you to check things out, just to make sure that I'm not telling you wrong information. So this is what I'd like you to do. So Alidu, if you're still there watching, then do let us know. Assalamu alaikum. We got our caller back.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Sorry about that.
So what happened then? You just paid your bill off and they connected you again?
I think I need to have a word with O2.
O2, you're not allowed to mention on our program any companies here,
Okay.
Otherwise,
due to the new GDPR laws, yes, I completely forgot.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned the name, you've just tempted me now to send them an invoice for giving us some sponsorship and donation, right? So
no, there won't be any information like that again, I promise.
Now, this Irfan Chatbar has joined us now. Irfan, he's got a new routine during Ramadan, right? Is wake up whenever he feels like waking up. That's his routine. So it's almost 10 o'clock this morning, 10 a.m., and Irfan is chilling still. After Fajr, went to sleep. When I'm telling everybody that the Fajr hour is the best hour. Wake up, do some work. Don't get into the pattern of going back to sleep. Do some work. Make some more ibadat. Pray, read Quran, and then do some of your laptop office work, and then you're fresh, you're ready. And even do a little bit of stretching. That's good for you as well, during Ramadan.
Do you know one thing we need to continue doing this year is your stretches.
Very important, We were doing that.
The ones you normally do.
Yeah, we normally do that after day 3, you know.
Is it day 3?
Yeah. Today is day 2. So tomorrow we encourage everybody to stretch. You know, we had some complaints last year because some people was calling me and telling me that, look, while I was driving, I started stretching and both my hands were off the wheel. So I don't want that. I don't want that this year. I'm very, very health and safety conscious this year. This is very important. So, you know, our listeners, they don't miss a beat. You make one mistake, they catch you red-handed. They catch you with your hand in the cookie jar. That's what happens.
Do you know the other question I want to ask you was, Brother Zed? The question is, I wanted to basically mention, I want you to give salam to one of my favorite ex-drivers, my brother. I love him to bits. He does a lot of good stuff in the community. Brother Abdul Rashid. Unfortunately, he's had a very, very traumatic time this year. Fortunately, his father passed away. May Allah grant him the highest of the highest places in Jannatul Firdaus. And he also lost, and a couple of weeks later, he lost his father-in-law as well. And my sister Hasina, it's not easy this year without the father. So I just want to give him a special mention. And I want to basically say a big, big salam to them. And I just want to tell them I'm always thinking of them and I love them. I love them a lot.
So, Brother Abdul Rashid, I think I met him. He came to the studio a couple of years ago.
The man who never takes his hat off.
That's right. Yeah, he came to the studio. I think we also organized a hamper for his family, didn't we?
No, we didn't do it. We didn't do a hamper for him. It was for me.
Yeah.
But this year, inshallah, I want to dedicate that hamper to my sister Hasina. I think she deserves. It's not nothing big, but as they say, every little thing helps. I think I would really, really like to dedicate that one to her, inshallah, this year.
That's mashallah. I think I'm going to ask our producer to take note of the list so we can start working on that project and not forget this year. Now, of course, what the problem is, you prepare these gifts which are sort of delivered to us from the community, and then people don't come to collect them. And then we are always struggling to go and deliver them because, you know, we don't have any contracts here with the Uber. And,
well, you don't need Uber. You can just call Brother Abdul Rashid. He'll do it. When he's awake, he's very reliable.
MashaAllah, that's a good idea. So there you are. See, we talk to each other, we engage with each other, we do community development like that. You know, this is what it's all about. It's everyone making an effort together. And what do we say here? Together, everyone achieves more success, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
And you know, what is sad is that we lose touch with each other. You know, when during Ramadan, it's almost as though you are touching everybody in the community. You know, you can stretch your hand out and you can touch them. But after Ramadan, you're in retraction mode.
Why do you think that is, brother Zed? What do you think it is?
I think what it is that the human body is programmed that only to be active during the month of Ramadan and then go to sleep after Ramadan. And this is what we have to change. You know, we have to change it to be the other way around. And that would be absolute blessing if we can achieve that. Because there's so much to do. There's a lot of mad activities to do, you know, a lot of mad activities.
Making the difference. That's absolutely correct.
And that's what it's going to be about this year. Every day, you pick the phone up, even you make somebody smile, you're making a difference. Right?
That's a way of sunnah as well, making somebody smile.
So pick up your mobiles and use them in a positive manner. Make somebody smile, make a difference. And that's what I do. Now, we've also got an initiative this year where we tell people, right, look, come into the studio. If you come with children, you must come accompanying your children here because under 16, nobody will be allowed to come here into the studio because there are too many rules and regulations now, brother. And I know you'll be all right because you're over 16. But,
inshallah. And also, I would like to mention a very, very esteemed good friend of mine. He's like a big brother to me. His name is Brother Osman. He's one of my specialist drivers who basically picks me up every day, alhamdulillah. And he always basically, the thing with him is, brother, that he's a bit like your producer. He's always there on time. His timing is 7:46 or 7:47 to be precise. Anything later than that, he's annoyed with himself.
Is that right? So you've been watching him as well, just
yes,
like...
he's a very punctual. He's a very punctual person. Very, very good at what he does.
Well, there you are. Nasu Laher has joined us. And do you remember how many Lahers there are in Leicester? I told you yesterday. You forgot.
How many?
Laher, you know.
Laher?
Laher, yeah. They're a very select group in Leicester.
Yes. They're very, they are, yes, correct, yes, absolutely.
They live in one area of Leicester. I'm not allowed to mention that area, but those that live there, all the Lahers are smiling right now because they know.
Yeah, the Lahers are a very, it's a very prestigious family.
There you go. So big shout out there for Nasu Laher, for all the Lahers in Leicester. So we are connecting with them. So Nasu, if you can share your connect us with all of them, that would be nice. So you see how we've identified all the different surnames in Leicester.
That's it.
And we do a little bit of research on them to see how many of them there is here. Yeah. So
Brother Zed, all I can say, do you know what? You carry on doing what you're doing.
No, great.
Ramadan would not be the same without you.
Of course, when you go to work, I want you to connect us with all those wonderful people there, and we'll talk to them like we did with one of your bosses last time.
Yeah, what we'll do is, we won't do it straight away because I've got my manager there today, because my manager's changed. But inshallah, I will do it before Ramadan ends, inshallah. Don't you worry.
Right. If you can get them to listen in, and then we can connect with them also and do a bit of Q&A with them. They can ask questions, and we can get them involved, because we do want even non-Muslims to engage and to talk to us.
That's what it's all about, isn't it, at the end of the day?
And
to engage
please,
with everybody.
all of you listening out there, do talk to them about Ramadan. Explain to them that what is the spiritual benefits of Ramadan, and what our actions are, how we engage with each other. And it's good to educate. And this also is Sadqa Jariyah, you know, to educate, to pass our knowledge. So, Brother Sajid, it's been absolute wonderful to talk to you. You've charged my battery. You can see I feel energized even more than I did before I was talking to you.
That's it, Brother Zed. So I wish you and one of the best producers you've got, who is behind the wheel at the moment, wish you both a very, very happy Ramadan second day. Hope you both have a good, blessed day, and inshallah we catch up inshallah tomorrow soon, inshallah.
Thank you for that. At least now we know for sure that he'll come to work tomorrow, and for the rest of the 28 days he'll be here. We can count on that. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah. Take care.
Yeah, take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
There you are. That's one of our brothers who's an avid listener. Is listening to us all. Now, what's happening out there now? Come on, everybody on the Facebook. This is a live transmission, so connect us with all your database. And I know that they're all sleeping right now, so give them a little shout out, wake them up. Now, if you call us at the studio, then we will be able to give a shout out to anybody you would like us to do. And somebody sent me a message about the children in the studio. This is very important. You must adhere to this. We will not be allowing under 16s into the studio without them being accompanied by their parents, and this is very, very important this year. Every year there's some new rules and regulations, so please pay attention to that. I would appreciate that. And if you have any questions on that, ring into the studio, and we can talk about that and explain more on that. So Jazakallah khair for that listening. And my producer tells me that we are going to have a little break very shortly, so I will look forward to talking to you again after the break of the advertisement, and we will join you again for more discussions. So we talked about education. We said that also we need, we'll discuss with you in more detail the smartphone usage. There'll be some programs set aside for that, to discuss smartphone. And of course, we do always invite any avid person who wants to join us here in transmissions at the studio in the mornings, in the afternoons, in the evenings, and learn about the media profession in radio presenting. Then that can lead on to a television presenting. And if you look around in your news outlets, across the board, you will see so many more and more people from the ethnic community who are now involved in the media. And this is so much excitement there right now that we need more of this happening. And the more the merrier, as they say. So take inspiration from many of the chaps out there that even I follow them attentively. They are very, very good. My personal favorite, somebody sent me a message already that who is your favorite? Well, I have many favorites, but I must say my best one is got to be the one and only Mehdi Hassan. This is my favorite, you know. I love that guy to bits. He's absolutely very, very inspirational chap. But then again, I like listening to Abdul Hamid as well all of the time. You know, he inspires me a great deal as well. So you all have some personal favorites, but if you have children who want to have a little bit of experience, got to have a little bit of taste into the media, then do bring them here to the studio. And we'll also like to engage very much with young people who wish to enter in the fields of any profession or even politics. We'd like them to engage with us, you know, very much so. Politics is a fabric of our society, so do engage with us on that, and we can at least point them in the right direction and point them to the right people who can assist them. So the studio telephone number is 0116 212 9324. So we'll be having a little break for some, we call it an ad break, and it's also a little bit of a battery charge for us. And then we'll join you very shortly after that, because the morning program runs from 9 to 11, or sometimes they cut it short to 9 till 10:30, depending on what's happening during the day. Some very important issues come up, and then they cut us off. We were at the BBC only recently, and we had 3 slots, and they told me that, no, the last slot we got to change because something has happened. I says, what has happened? It says, Debenhams has closed down, has announced closure. So everything had to be rescheduled around that, and that is at the mighty BBC. So this is what happens in broadcasting. We make some emergency changes to the schedule, and here we do the same. And we're doing 30 days work here during Ramadan, at Ramadan special, and then we carry on with the EAVA 102.5 FM. So I'm going to join you shortly after this break. So don't go away, and don't go and have a cup of tea because you're fasting. So I'm going to join you very, very shortly. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. ZED is back on the drive time on 102.5 FM. If you're listening out there, give me a thumbs up. Of course, how am I going to know that you've given me a thumbs up? You know, this is how we have connection with you. So you, the listener, is the boss. So we're listening, you're listening, and I'm connecting with you. That's how it works here on the radio. Alidu, are you still on? You know, I want you to tell me. Now, many people, they will not even know where is Ghana on the planet Earth. Well, Ghana is in West Africa, Alidu. So give us your coordinates exactly, and I'm going to tell them all to the city of Leicester. We're going to introduce everybody to Ghana. And, you know, there's wonderful football players they have there. They're very, very good at football in Ghana. So if you wish to know more, then Alidu is the man who's going to take the lead on that, Abdul Rahman. And yesterday, we had a lady here from the Sisters program at 11 a.m. and they were having a very good chat about Ghana. So today, we'll run the program till 10:30. So it's 10:03 now, and after that, we'll be doing the prep work for the next program in the day, which is at 11 a.m., which is the Sisters program. And then in the afternoon, we have the program from, is it Maulana Khalil? Does he come today? Wednesday. He comes here on Wednesdays. His days here are Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and these are 3 days. And then Saturdays and Sundays, we allocate them to all the charities who are doing a lot of good work, and then they will be working very hard here, connecting with all their databases and all the people that they know in the city of Leicester. Because during this month, a lot of people are doing a lot of good work in collecting funds for various projects all throughout the world. And this is what is the blessing in Ramadan, that in this 1 month, it's a month of giving. You give charity, you give your zakat, and you do all the good deeds during that month. And that is very, very good. So we all have to remind each other every day in the path of doing good. Often you are sat around negative people and who are moaning and who are complaining, and they have nothing better to offer themselves. And these are the kind of people I want you to walk away from, because it's even pointless to debate with them, to argue with them, because they need to do the MRT themselves. So what is MRT? If any of you remember, call me and let me know what is MRT. And that's when I know that you are a good student. So my producer already has forgotten what is MRT. He doesn't have a clue because he wasn't listening attentively. This is my chance to tell him off. And all the time he's telling us off. Now we're telling him off because he's not listening to what was being transmitted. What is MRT? Now, he's probably gone on the internet to see MRT, and he'll come up with the metro system in France, or a metro somewhere in Singapore, which is called the MRT, right? But here in Leicester, it has a different meaning. Just like MAD has a different meaning, MAD, make a difference. So Shafina, have you made a difference to anyone at all? Have you made a difference to anyone? Do connect with me and let me know. Now, all of you, I want you to start sharing. Don't only listen on your own. Share it with your friends. And Ramadan.fm, bring attention to all your friends about this radio station so that we can all communicate with each other. Another very good response we had yesterday was when we were talking about a book called 1001 Inventions. And some listener was asking me, what is the cost of this book? I put this on the screen again, right? This is an absolute wonderful book, and we shall be showing this book to all of you. But the reason we have this book here in the studio is we got a few copies which we are going to give as prizes to the children who are going to do the best recitation and going to write some very good poetry, and we are going to give this to them. Of course, this book here has got loads of information in here. Civilization stretched back from Spain to China and it was the golden era of discovery and inventions. They shone through at that time like you cannot believe. And many, many, many of today's works that you see here were based on that, right? And the 1001 invention has got a library of secrets in there, right, for the inventive exhibition, and also for your children to learn about these inventions, and always encourage your children to be creative, to know about these inventions, educate them. So a lot of self-education is necessary, because a lot of these inventions in here are not in your school curriculum at all. So I want you all to understand that there's a lot of things here concerning who discovered coffee, who invented time, and so many things here, right, that people are never taught in schools. And I think we need to really focus on this particular thing. And anybody else here who wants to have more information on this, you can pick it up on your internet, and be aware that this book has got a lot of wonderful items in it. And we are in the studio, everybody's picking it up and scanning through it. There's a lot of pages, so you can't read it all at once, but even you have a little scan through it, then you will learn something, right? So if tomorrow you guys want me to go through something in the book, any extract, I'm happy to do that for you, so we can learn from this book, learn from each other. And that's what I'm happy to do. In fact, the best thing to do is when the children's hour starts today. Is it starting today? Yeah, from 3 till 5. The girls who will be doing the children's hour, Sister Amreen and her colleague, Sister Salma, can start talking about this book and also reading some extracts from this book. Is that a good idea? Yes? My producer says yes, that's a good idea. So there'll be 2 of them here doing the children's hour, and that takes place between 3 and 5 every day from Monday to Friday. So you see, we have quite a schedule which is quite intense throughout the day. So we were talking to you yesterday, telling you that there are almost between 40 to 60 presenters that come through the door during the 1 month. Of course, they're all volunteers. They don't get paid, so they give a lot of their time, for which we're all appreciative of. So big shout out to all the presenters who are making this radio happen. So a lot of good work that they're doing. So topics, we discussed 4 of them. If you can remember them, then you're doing well. We discuss education, we're going to do recruitment, we're going to do, and we're going to also cover domestic violence, and of course smartphone addiction, social media. That's a topic as well. So you go through many of the topics throughout the month, and these are all topics that affect our community and affect each one and every one of us here in the community. So let's all be very attentive and pay attention to these. And if you have also ideas that you want to discuss here on the radio, then please do tell us, because we have little time, the 30 days, and we can then make amendments and changes here to accommodate all of you, right? So this is what we are planning to do. Of course, in between, another listed item that was brought to attention was sports and racism in sports and racism, institutional racism across the board. So this is also something that we shall be paying attention to. And at the moment, our research department, which is all one person there in the studio, is looking into this to put a team together, right? We have a situation here where we have 100 things to do, and we all look to one guy to carry out the research, because the reason for that is he is extremely fast on that keyboard on the internet. He can press those keys faster than anybody. Before I can even blink, he's put it up on the screen. So I'm going to give you a little example on that, right? Like just a topic about racism in football. I'm going to ask him to show all of you how fast he works, right? He'll have everything up on the screen. Another message came, and this is that, is your studio operate the same like the BBC? And I said, how is that possible? they have millions of pounds worth of budget, right? And how can that be possible? Of course it's not. So I suggest you come over to the studio and you have a look at what is going on here, right? So here we have Valencia fans filmmaking Nazi salutes and racist gestures, and this is all over the media, and it's a very sad topic indeed. So we shall be covering this topic in some detail, and it's a very, very old problem that we need to deal with. Congratulations pour in after royal birth. MashaAllah, the royal birth. What's happening, man? How did we miss that out? That's supposed to be the top story of the day. Congratulations to all the royals out there. It's a very, very pleasing moment for them, the royal birth. But then there's births everywhere in the world. Congratulations pour in after the royal birth for Meghan and Harry. So that's we all royalists, aren't we? Yeah, we are all royalists. So that's very, very pleased to hear. So, of course, what about the local news? What's happening locally in the city, in the beautiful city of champions called Leicester? I do remember when Leicester won the Premier League, we had the banner in the studio. Somebody had donated to us, and we put up there the scarf of Leicestershire, right? Families update on biker recovering from devastating crash. That is Brother Abdul Hamid, right? So he says, the mother says, my son has become like a child again. And of course, when you have a brain injury, horrific like that, this is the outcome of that, you know. So this is very, very sad news. We covered that earlier on. So we have Leicester City reveal new kit and fans, players react. Of course, this kit, if you are familiar with the old one, then the new kit will make some sense to you. So 13 historic buildings in Leicester that are at risk. I doubt, does anyone here know any one of those historic buildings? Put your hand up and let me know. So let's see how fast you are on the internet. You know, 13 historic buildings at risk. So let's have a look at them, what they're saying. As a city which discovered a king buried under a car park, you might not be surprised to know, with plenty of buildings steeped in the history in Leicester, right? Who remembers a king, King Richard III? Well, you must remember him. He was born October. So this is a historic record. You know, if you share a birthday with him, then please do give us a ring. If you share the same day birthday with him, that's historic. So, however, Historic England says there are currently 60 important structures across Leicester, Leicestershire and Rutland. We could be at risk of losing 13, ranging of places to worship to castle ruins, and the organization has red flagged these 13 topics out there, right? So this is very important for us to know. And there is hope in the East Midlands. Historic England has spent over £1 million in grants to help some of the region's most important historic sites in the past 2 decades. And they continue to do that each year. Conservation is a very, very big thing in Leicester at the moment. And in the city centre, part of the city centre is at the moment all engulfed in conservation. So why I know that is because over in the Churchgate area in Leicester, there's a lot of buildings there which are termed as historic, and conservation team in the city council are very, very strict on that, and they are looking at these buildings. So many of these buildings are very, very, very old, and they have features that are being preserved. Of course, when you go over to another part of the world, I was recently in Pakistan and I saw houses there, doors in houses which were 600 years old. This is how old the houses were, 600 years old, and they were smashed to bits. There was no conservation going on whatsoever. And another time, I'm going to share some pictures with you of these particular houses to show you that how is conservation in one part of the world and how conservation is now. So we have a deen which is 1400 years old plus, right? And we go by conservation of it, and we have a Quran which is also 1400 plus years old, and we have to understand the whole concept of conservation. Nafisa Logat has joined in. Nafisa, on behalf of all the Logats in Leicester, I give you a big shout out. And of course, everybody knows the Logats in Leicester. I am personally surrounded in my database, in my phone, there is at least 49 Logats in here. 49. Now, any one of you has got more than 49 Logats, then do let me know. If you've got more than 49 in your phone, so that's how many I've got. So that is a lot of them, in Leicester. So quite a few of them. So you see, today, if you can even remember the two main surnames that we were talking about, right? So here, the list of jobs flashing up there all day long in so many different sectors that we need to bring awareness to all the recruitment programs that we'll be doing during the week. I will let you know what days we're going to be doing them, and the jobs keep flashing up on the screen. So this is it. See, when we talk about recruitment, then the software is worked out that all these topics, they keep flashing on the screen, so you all have a constant reminder here. So we have the school's closure came as a surprise to many parents. Which school is that in Leicester closing? What's the name of that school? Private school building in Ashby put up for sale for 700k. Now what happens to a school when it's put up for sale? And Ashby, which area is that in Leicester? So it's a little bit far away from us here where we are, but there's quite a few closures as well. Leicestershire Live reported in December that the school had mysteriously closed at the end of November. Paul Zalkin and Nick Simmons, a business advisory from Quentuma, were appointed as joint administrator of Manor House Schools. So this has got to be a private school if it's gone into administration. So this is what many of you will not know about. But again, there's so many stories in the local vicinity that we don't know about until we sort of mention to each other. So news today is not reflected as it used to be, but we sometimes learn about news from each other and so on. So we had another good initiative where we have, in many, many schools, we have the Duke of Edinburgh Award, right? And in this award, the children have to go out into industry, or they have to go out and do a project on site somewhere. And this is very interesting because we used to do that at school also. And this is where it is now. The Leicester City player shines in Manchester City defeat. So this is also news, which is very big news. We must flag this one up. This one takes precedence on all other news, of course. It's only a small defeat, 1-0, but it's a very significant one because it's kind of a game changer. So I don't pay too much attention to this because in the month of Ramadan, when I'm telling everyone to focus on ibadat and doing good and being positive, then we get roped into sports mania, football, which engulfs our characters fully. Then we don't know. So we have some additions today to our team at the studio. So I'd like you all to raise your hand and say salam to our new additions in the team. And this is what's going on. Always we are improving. Mahmoud Abu Ilainan. Mahmoud is also from that name, and that surname is from West Africa. So Mahmoud, if you can tell us if I'm right or I'm wrong, let me know. He's just joined us on the Facebook, and let us know if you are from that particular part of the world. So this is how you have to be very quick to guess. Just by a surname, you put your location out into your head and you're able to guess. So Mahmoud, Jazakallah khair for joining us. I want you to connect us to everybody in your region. We need to know what's happening there. So now all of you in the city of Leicester, we shall be having a little break in 9 minutes, and today's program will be at a closure. And some messages are coming in on my phone already that I'd like to come to the program tomorrow. So now we like to book this person, and after the program, what happens now? That all the people who desired that they want to come in the morning, then we start shuffling The producer will call them and make an appointment to come in. And then how it happens is that one person will discuss topics that they want to discuss and write it all down. And then this is where we are getting a little bit high tech and a little bit professional, and it goes on the screen, and that's what happens here. So if you have anybody that you would like to introduce to media, or they want to enhance their media skills, then do encourage them to come in and talk to us. And we want to develop many youngsters to enjoy and to join the whole broadcasting environment. It's good for them, it develops a confidence, and many youngsters who came here 3 years ago, I have been following their careers, and they are doing absolutely brilliant right now, you know. So one particular one that always comes to mind is young Musa, who, if you remember, young Musa, he won the many prizes. One of his prizes was he wrote the best poem, which was time and time being recited, and I'm going to share that with all of you and let you know what that poem was all about. So I'm going to ask Musa to send it to me online, and I'm going to share that poem with you. So this is inspires other people, other youngsters, that, well, if Musa can do it, then so can I do it, you know. So all those youngsters out there from the age of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, doesn't matter what age you are, at the age of 12, if you can be inspired, and by the time you're 16, you're sorted. Job is done. You're ready, battery charged, ready to take the world on. That's what you're going to be, right? And then Musa, right now, what he's doing is now testing his culinary skills. He's doing really well. This guy just takes on one passion, develops it to perfection, and moves on to another and another and another, right? His skill set, his mother has sent me an email, told me that Musa can do knitting. He's now baking some really good cakes. And I've asked the mother to send it here, and then we'll see how good they are here. I have a producer here who is an expert. He can look at a cake and he can tell the structure of the sponge inside the cake. That's how good he is with food, right? He's so good. He's like almost what you call a food critic, and he's a special critic because he can look at food and he can make decisions on that food, how it's cooked and how good it is. And not many people can do that. For that, you require skill. When you look at food and you're able to tell exactly what the structure of that food is. So what else he was doing? He was doing poetry, he was doing cooking, baking, so many things indeed. So that's what we want other youngsters also to benefit from. And the reason I say this is because when they are 12 years old, they're not confident, they lack communication skills, and then they go on from secondary, they go on to do their A levels, and then they go to university. And this confidence factor to instill into our children is very important, because it helps them on in their latter life when they are joining a university. When they go there and they have the ability, they'll be more articulate and they'll be able to communicate. Communication skills are very important. You go for a job interview and you can't communicate, you are going to be stuffed. You're going to lose. First of all, if 1,000 people are going for jobs, and the recruitment process now just goes through the psychometric process, you fill this form, fill that form, and they just whittle it down to 10, and then they interview 10 people, and you have a lot of competition, you know, how you talk, how you speak, your body language, everything is very important, right? Of course, I know about these things because I regularly get involved in this area. So if you or anyone else that you know, they need help and assistance, then we can point you in the right direction of that. Just to be trained and learning how to pass an interview is very important. We have 5 minutes and 16 seconds left before we close the drive time with ZED this morning. So you have very little time to tell us. If you want to call us, you got to call us immediately. My producer will put the screen up again on the Facebook, so you can call us immediately on the radio if you want to talk about any particular subject. It's 0116-212-9324. So feel free to pick that phone up and give us a call. 0116-212-9324. So any of those kids out there in your family who will write a very, very good message, then do let us know. A poem even. So if you do win, you're going to get this book as a prize. You are listening right now on Ramadan Special on EAVA 102.5 FM. So you say that at home. See if you can say it better than me. You are listening right now on Ramadan Special on EAVA 102.5 FM. So let's all say it together and see who can say it the best, right? Listening to Ramadan Special on EAVA 102.5 FM. So let me see if I can join my producer and my second producer, and my third one is on the way. We have a very small room. We can just about squeeze 3 of them in there, sitting next to each other. Well, this room was specially designed and built according to our producer's size. The bigger they are, the bigger the room has to be. So again, somebody sent me a message here, but you mustn't write it down. You have to dial in on our telephone number and say that. Ramadan Special on EAVA 102.5 FM. So whoever says that the best is also going to get a prize, you know. In fact, we're going to use that as a jingle. So I want you to call in on our telephone number and say that you are listening on Ramadan Special on EAVA 102.5 FM. So the way to engage you is to get you to call in and to say that. And if my producer likes the sound of you, he's going to then arrange a prize for you, right? He's looking at me with eyes dilating right now to say that, did I say that? Did I say that? No. But, you know, this is how you have to put pressure under him. Let him put his hand in his pocket for once, you know. I won't go into his ethnicity because that sort of affects some rules of broadcasting, you know, so I have to keep it very neutral and partial like that. There you are. He's come forward with a contribution. Of course, he doesn't know that recently copper coins that were put down to extinction were revived again because of massive complaints. And recently the government, if you are following what goes on, said that copper coins are going to be abolished. Now, I would not abolish them. You know, they're historic. If you like copper coins to be kept in circulation, I know many of you will say, well, they're not worth much, but I think it's good. It's part of our heritage. If you're a copper coin person, does anybody have any copper coins? Let's do a little test. Does anybody have any copper coins? Time is coming shortly where people won't even have any coins or notes. We'll all be with digital. So the future of the 1p and 2p coins. This week, rule on future 1p and 2p coins a year after called them obsolete. So that a year ago they wanted to make them obsolete, but now they made a statement in 2018. A Treasury consultation about the mix of coins in circulation appeared to pave the way of the end of them. But that decision has been reversed, a swift reverse by the Prime Minister. So that was 28th April, only last week, there was a reverse on that. So if you followed the news, you'll see that a swift reverse. You know, I'm trying to read and my producer keeps moving everything. I can't read. A swift reverse by Prime Minister's official spokesman declared there were no plans to scrap the copper coins. The Treasury has declined to comment on a report that there will be a reprieve, but it confirmed the result of the review will be announced shortly. So this is a lot of debate going on, and that's how it goes. So if they do decide to make them obsolete, I will say, well, everybody, just bring all your copper coins and your 2p's and your 1p's. Stack loads of them. You can collect them all. Go and take them to the bank if you don't need them, and you'll be able to change them for notes. It's as simple as that. So don't get carried away to say, oh, they're obsolete now, I'll chuck them in the bin. Don't take that kind of view. Sometimes it's only a penny and you don't think or nothing of it. In fact, how many people actually have, right now, do a test, how many people have got any coins in their pocket, right? See, my producer is saying none. He's got no coins. He hasn't even got silver coins in his pocket. He's got notes only, which of course is good news because he'll be able to dish out. He's got few coppers. Yes, he's got few coppers. How many coppers have you got in there? What is it total? Can you total them up and let us know? We're doing a live test here in the studio with our producer and his assistant. Have you also got any copper coins? No? There you are. So here, he's going to come now into the studio and tell me. You know, this is how it is in broadcasting. You just put people on the spot like that here. So we have an assistant here in the studio. And what's your good name? Nyla. Nyla, how are you? Nyla, take a seat here and introduce yourself to the whole wide world. Nyla, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Nyla. I go to college and I want to be a graphic designer.
MashaAllah. So Nyla, see, she wants to be a graphic designer. So what do we do now? I'm going to put you to a test. If somebody says to you, I want to become a graphic designer, what do you say to that person? What do you say to that person? Oh, this is the test I'm giving you now.
Okay.
Not for you, but for somebody out there, in the wide public out there.
Yeah.
That if a young person comes along and wants to become a graphic designer, what do they?
Yeah, tell them to give me some advice, which career path I should take, stuff like that.
And then you can be appreciative of that, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. I'll get to know some advice.
Well, you see the confidence of Nyla? She just walks into the studio with how many pens? She brought in here 4 pens, 2 pens coins, 2 of them, and 4 1-pence coins. So first of all, Nyla, what I'm going to tell you that you need these coins in your money box. Do you have one at home?
No.
So I'm going to give you these coins to put into your money box because no, but we're donating them to Nyla, right?
That's my tip.
That's your tip. Now, what you do, you start collecting them because when you want to be a graphic designer, you need to buy Photoshop, Illustrator. Of course,
I've got it.
If you're a student, you get it free.
No, you don't get it at home for free. That's what they need to introduce, though.
So you've already got that.
Yeah.
So then after that, you need a very good Mac.
Yeah, that's what I don't have.
So now a big screen one, it costs a little bit of money. Yeah. So Nyla wants to remain anonymous. So my producer, he likes playing with the cameras. See, he's got 3 cameras shot on me. You can see the side of my head, the front of my head, every angle. And when he puts the cameras on me, he puts them extremely close. So people out there on the Facebook, they can see every single blemish on my face. You know, another day or two, people will be counting every single blemish on my face and telling me that.
Yeah.
You know, this is what happens. That's what my producer does to me. Everybody else. So we have people in the studio. They don't want to be photogenic, do they? And Nyla, you are a very confident person because you just walked into the studio and straight on the mic. Where did you learn these skills?
I've actually been on BBC Radio before, on The Breakfast Show. I presented like a piece on body image pressure. So I have been on the radio like once before.
So you know that there's a big push now. One of the third sectors in education is going to be about health and mindfulness, right? So this is a subject that you will have read upon.
Yeah, a bit. It's a lot pushed in schools to like exam pressure. So they talk a lot about health and mindfulness.
So do you tell us about your journey in education? Were you schooling in Leicester?
Yeah, I did. I went to secondary school at City of Leicester and I had a really good time there. But when it comes to GCSEs, there's a lot of pressure to do well and it's quite hard. So obviously you have to be aware of your mental health and at the same time doing well in exams. So you have to balance it.
So now, see how the comms is, right? The producer will send a message out there. And he's working on some technical issues now and so on. So when you are on the mic, you can see what you have to do. You have to literally, you and the mic is married to each other. You have to be close, right? This is the instruction that he sends. Now, when you come into the studio, everybody out there, when you come into the studio, you have to build a relationship with your mic. which is you have to be about 20 millimeters away from your mic. Otherwise, what happens? The sound is muffled. Even if you turn away like this and then you speak, you will have a muffled sound.
We need a ruler in here. Yeah, measure the distance.
You need to sort of focus and get it right. If it's between 20 and 30 millimeters, it's okay. So you were saying, go and carry on before our producer put that up on the screen. But you got to put the EAVA FM on the screen so we can have Naila to have a go at that. Naila, can you say that?
No.
You're not ready for that yet?
Not ready yet. I need to hear some people first and then I'll have a go. I'll see. Okay. I need to judge my competition.
Okay, let's, for right now, you have me for competition. You are listening to us on Ramadan special on EAVA FM 102.5 FM.
You know what? I don't know if I can beat that.
You can't?
I don't think I can beat that.
We'll have our producer have a go as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah? And then we'll see who's the best. Now, remember, whoever does it the best is going to get a prize.
The 2p?
No, not the 2p. My producer will work out on a prize for them for sure. Okay. So, quickly now, before we close for the day, tell us about your journey. You were telling us you went to school, yeah?
Yeah, so I went to school, did my GCSEs, now I'm in college doing graphic design. And yeah, I want to be a graphic designer, so if anyone needs graphic design.
Have you designed anything yet?
Yeah, I've done loads of posters, logos for people, everything.
There you are. Already we have a lot of graphics to do here at the studio. So Naila will enjoy in that task with our experienced graphic designer. And she can do that. So we can put her to work straight away, you know. And this is the beauty of Ramadan special here. You come, you say you want to do this, and you get signposted. You see, I've given you a live example, and we have just shown to you how we do, how we work. So any of your kids out there who come in, and how it happens is that if a young person comes in and they're about a certain age, then Naila can assist them. If they are older, then I'll be able to assist them, or somebody else in the community who is in that particular field will be able to take them on. This is how engaging the community is, that people will listen in now and they'll say, right, I want to be involved and make a difference.
Definitely.
Are you mad? Do you want to be mad?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
So mad, what does it mean?
Make a difference. Got it.
Exactly. You see, Naila picks up on these things because she has an eye for attention to detail.
Yeah.
Attention to detail, right?
That's what graphic designers need. A,
attention. T,
2,
and D.
Detail.
A graphic designer has got to have ATD. If you don't have ATD, you can't be a good graphic designer, right? So we're going to call it a day now. Jazakallah khair for spending 1.5 hours with us, and we shall join you tomorrow. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah.